Good morning. Welcome to the College of Law graduation ceremony. Would everybody please stand?
Please be seated. Welcome to the 2026 commencement for the University of Wyoming College of Law. I am Julie Hill, the Dean of the College of Law, and I'm grateful that each of you are joining us here today. Today we are celebrating 82 students. We are celebrating both their achievements during the last 3 years and the beginning of their law careers. In addition to the graduates and their family and friends who have joined us here today, I wanted to recognize some distinguished guests. We have University of Wyoming Board of Trustees members Kermit Brown, who is a graduate of the College of Law, and Trustee Jim Mathis, who is not a graduate of the College of Law, but there's still time. And we have our commencement speaker, Chief Justice Lynn Baumgarten of the Wyoming Supreme Court, also a graduate of the College of Law. We have Senior Associate Dean Alan Romero. Dean Romero will be announcing the names of the College of Law graduates later today. We also have 2 additional faculty members who will be placing the doctoral hoods on our graduates, Professor Jacqueline Bridgman and Professor Melissa Alexander. We also have some guests from elsewhere on campus at the university. We have Dr. Michelle Allgood, who will be helping Hood students who receive the Masters of Public Administration degree. And we also have Professor Temple Stollinger. She has a joint appointment with the College of Law and serves as the Associate Dean of the Haub School. And she will be helping Hood our students who are receiving the Energy, Environment, and Natural Resource certificates. On the front row here, we have the head of the College of Law Advisory Board, former Wyoming Supreme Court Chief Justice Marilyn Kite. And then behind me, we have the College of Law faculty who are led by Associate Dean Danielle Cover. I know they are as excited as anyone to see our students on this momentous occasion. But of course, we are here today to honor the members of the class of 2026. Individually and collectively, they have grown so much in the last 3 years. As most of you probably know, law school is not meant to be easy. It is meant to prepare people that can be trusted to help when someone is facing jail time or negotiating a pivotal business deal or is fighting for custody of children or navigating the aftermath of the death of a family member. It is a lot of responsibility. Graduates, we have demanded a lot of you, and you have risen to the occasion. You have spent late nights in the library. You have read thousands of pages. You have survived Professor Romero's hat. You've worried about your final exams, and you've worried about the construction on the law school. And through it all, you have prevailed. Many of you have completed legal internships. Many of you have represented clients through our clinics. Many of you who have participated in some sort of competition, including negotiation, client counseling, opening statements, voir dire, natural resources moot court, or the international law moot court. Many of you got involved in the John Berman Student Government Association or other student clubs. You have had academic successes, and you have had academic setbacks, because that's what happens in law school and life. Things don't always go our way. Some of you had even more personal challenges. One of this year's graduates started law school the week after her mother passed away. For that graduate, I'm sure your mom is proud of you today. Another graduate navigated the path of a new mother whose baby spent months in the hospital and has serious ongoing medical problems. Several students experienced family heartache or personal health struggles that made law school more difficult. Whether you have a problem that we knew about or you helped your classmates through theirs, I want you to know I'm proud of you for those things. Of course, there is more to life than the law. I mean, it's hard for a law dean to admit that, but there is. Today's graduates are well-rounded, and they have fulfilling lives. They know how to smile and laugh. They have a sense of adventure that leads to their success. For example, one graduate owns and runs a gym. One graduate was a handler for Cowboy Joe, the university's Shetland pony mascot. I'm only severely disappointed that she did not bring Cowboy Joe to walk across the stage today. We have members of this class who have been on championship-winning intramural basketball and soccer teams. And we have one graduate who won the law school's annual chili cook-off an unprecedented 3 years in a row. Now that his eligibility has been exhausted, he might be able to share a recipe or two. Graduates, you're going to take your knowledge, your resilience, and your unique personal attributes into the legal profession to help others. Members of the audience, I wish I could tell you more about each individual graduate today because they are all impressive. Unfortunately, that would make commencement way too long, and we don't want that. Instead, it is my pleasure today to introduce you to a student who exemplifies the qualities of the class of 2026, Carson Lauji. Oh, I've got more to say about Carson. Each year, an outstanding law graduate is chosen by the third-year class to be the class commencement speaker. This year, the class chose Carson. Carson has left an important mark on the College of Law. He was a driving force behind many of our student competitions. At one point, Carson decided that he wanted there to be a Marine Corps JAG opening statement competition at the law school. He asked really politely. We gave him permission on the condition that he would do all of the work. Now, this might have deterred some students, but not Carson. He managed to organize the entire competition, and then he managed to win it. Carson's classmates call him the mayor of the College of Law because he is always friendly and talking to everyone. Indeed, earlier this week, I went by the law library because I was hoping to ask his classmates to describe him, but the first person to greet me when I walked into the library was Carson. Once I got away from him, other students described him with these words: very nice, effervescent, funny, helpful, and caring. Carson accomplished all of this while also managing his responsibilities as a husband to Julia and a father to Jack and Jane. We are honored to hear from him today. Carson?
Wow. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dean Hill, faculty, staff, distinguished guests, and the friends and family of the class of 2026 for being here today. It is today that my class and I can answer the age-old question: is it the journey or the destination? We all started this journey on our own. We all came from unique and different backgrounds, different states, countries, different jobs, different undergraduate degrees. At some point, though, around the same time, we all decided, you know what, maybe I'll go to law school. And then we Googled, how do you get into law school? We had to make LSAC accounts so we could take the LSAT. And we started studying for the LSAT, probably all at the same time. At night, before bed, after we got done with our undergraduate homework or got back from whatever part-time or full-time job we were working. When we took the LSAT, we got our scores back. And unless you were Gabe Ewing, we wondered, was it enough? Maybe we took it again a month later and got the exact same score. $200 gone for nothing. But at some point we decided that'll do. We saved our score and we started applying to schools. The website that you apply to law school on will tell you, based on your undergraduate GPA and your LSAT score, your probability of being accepted in the University of Wyoming College of Law. If you're like me, you looked at your probability and saw it hovering at around a 50% chance of admission. I remember telling my wife, Julia, who had just given birth to our son and was waiting to see what her husband, with a criminal justice degree, was going to do with his life, I remember saying, all right, babe, looks like we've got a 50% chance of staying in Laramie, or we're going to Puerto Rico for law school. We had to gather letters of recommendations from the studliest people we could find and hope that they'd say nice enough things about us to impress admissions. And then we had to write a personal statement about why they should let us into the College of Law in Wyoming. Finally, we applied and waited. Eventually, we all got a letter saying that we got in. So we closed Zillow and we stopped looking at affordable beachside apartments in Puerto Rico, and we committed to Laramie, Wyoming. Up until that point, we were on our own. We made it in, but what came next? What had we gotten ourselves into? I remember walking into the auditorium on the first day of orientation. I looked around the room full of people who looked so put together and like they had everything figured out. I thought there was no way I was going to be able to get on these guys' level. They're going to think I'm a fraud. It was a lonely feeling. On the first day of class, I was a little late. I arrived about 2 minutes before the first class started. Megan Carter, Michael Boyce, and I missed the bus stop on the way to the law school, and we had to speed walk together from the Union. Sweaty, I arrived to class, and everyone had already found a seat. The only empty seat I could find was at the very front of the room. I sat next to Michael Boyce and Aiden McCurry. To this day, I cannot believe that Aiden McCurry sat in the front row on the first day of class. Again, I felt like there was no way I could keep up with these studs. I thought, surely they have everything figured out, and I turned around and I met Nayeli Gomez and Maddie Looper. And I asked this small group of people surrounding me, are you guys ready? And they all said at the same time, no. I realized then we were all scared, just like we were when we took the LSAT or when we applied to law school, knowing that we might not get in. But this time was different. This time, we had each other. For the next 3 years, we had each other's backs. Despite the highly competitive nature of law school, we always seemed to cheer each other on and celebrate each other's victories. I remember the first time I met Sierra Burley. We were sitting next to each other in a lobby outside of a conference room, waiting to compete for an internship at the Attorney General's office. We chatted nervously before our interviews, and after her interview, she looked at me and said, if I don't get it, I hope you do. Best friends ever since, and obviously Sierra got that job. It seemed that way for everyone, though. In fact, I never heard anyone in our class argue that they should have gotten a better internship or they should have gotten a better grade in a class than someone else. You would hear all the time public celebration of those that we were pitted against. In our class, if you mention the success of one of us, you'll only hear, good for them. Class of 2026, I hope we never stop cheering for each other. We're fortunate to live in a time where it is easier than ever to stay connected. It's my hope that you all brag about the amazing things you go on to do so we can see it and continue to cheer you on as the family that we've become. I will always cherish the time I spent with you, from planning your workouts with Abby Peterson and Jesse Nelson, to debating with Michael Hammer and Ryan Kilpack. I'll miss riffing with Emily, Tori, and Connor, and running with Raina and June, prepping for direct and cross-examinations with Haley Rockwell in her office before class, and chatting with Isabel and Franny and Joey in the library with our books open, but not a page is getting read. I will miss watching you get married and start your own families, have babies, have another baby, get your dream jobs. I will miss spending time with you all so much. I truly cannot believe that I won't be able to see you all every day. When Joey Greisinger is ultimately pressured into planning and hosting our reunion, it will be great to see you all again. To the family and friends in the audience, I hope you know how hard your 2026 graduate worked to be here. I hope you never know the pain of a Covenant's midterm essay that they endured to become your lawyer. And I hope you take the time to congratulate them on all they have accomplished in these past 3 years. To my parents, Mike and Heidi Lauji, thank you for being there for me and my little family. Your love and support got us through some challenging times on our journey. To Dan Fetzko, me and many of my classmates' undergraduate professor, pre-law school advisor, and friend, you are the reason I am here. Without you, I assure you I would not be in law school. I would not have discovered my passion for this field and career, so thank you. To Professor Donna Playton, thank you for teaching me and my dear friends Haley and Kayla how to be lawyers together. We miss working together in your clinic every day, and those will be some of my most cherished memories. To my beautiful wife, Julia, who wrote this speech with me, and loves you all as much as I do. I never, ever could have done any of this without her. And to our son and our daughter, Jack and Jane, we did it, guys. So, Law Dogs. Was it the journey or the destination? Well, since this isn't really the end, but just the beginning, I would argue with my whole heart that it was you the whole time, the friends along the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Lauji. In addition to selecting a student speaker, our law students also select an outstanding faculty member. I'd like to invite this year's John Berman Student Bar Association President, McKenna Kale, to the podium to introduce this year's outstanding faculty member.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to say it's not fair of Carson to make me speak after choking back tears for 3 minutes, so I'll do my best. It's my personal experience that the one thing all law students worry about is money. How to make it, how to keep it, and how not to lose it. These questions plague a lot of our decisions as law students, and as I suspect, they'll also plague our decisions as lawyers. Well, deep from the annals of investment banking and commercial tax law came our solution, and his name is James Delaney. Professor Delaney entered the legal field with the goal of understanding transactions, why people entered them, and what rules govern the mystical and sometimes terrifying world of finances. He learned these rules and put them to practice for 12 years at Deloitte & Touche, Perkins Coie, and the United States Tax Court. No big deal, right? Throughout this time, he helped people with multi-million-dollar estates and people like us who are, as Professor Novo might say, broke ass. Thankfully for us, this means that Professor Delaney has a wealth of knowledge that he readily shares with us, with no shortage of wit, humility, and just enough sarcasm to keep us honest. But most importantly, Professor Delaney shows us that he cares about us as students. He cares about our success as future lawyers. After talking with Professor Delaney for 2 hours ad nauseum, I think that his passion for helping people navigate the financial realm isn't just his job, it's truly his calling. I mean, there are very few people out there who will offer their personal phone number to hundreds of desperate law students or offer to teach you how to tie a tie and even tie that tie for you. He does it happily. Professor Delaney treats us like lawyers long before we feel like lawyers, and we're all better for it. Thank you.
As I explained to the graduating class yesterday, due to a family emergency, Professor Delaney is unable to be here today. He is very sorry to miss this important occasion. His full remarks will be emailed to the graduating class, but I do want to give the entire audience a little taste of his remarks so that you will have a sense of how much Professor Delaney loved this class. He wanted me to thank the graduating class of 2026 for this award. He describes it as one of the most meaningful recognitions that he has received in his 22 years of teaching here. He says, quote, "I truly enjoyed all of our class discussions over the last couple of years. Your desire to learn is impressive. Your desire to ask great questions always kept me on my toes. Again, thank you," unquote. Professor Delaney then planned to share some observations about his experiences as a young lawyer. They are funny and heartfelt, but I do not feel that I could do them justice. He has great stories and great emotions. Graduates, you'll have to read them yourself so that you can hear his voice in your head instead of mine. He then asked the quote, "Why am I telling you this? Because today is just the beginning for you. Most of what we did here in law school is teach you a method of how to apply facts to the law and analyze it. But maybe the most valuable skill we taught you was how to learn." He continues, quote, "As has always been, it will be your job as a lawyer to explain complex matters to your clients so that they understand them. When a client comes to you, they are looking for a human being who can help them understand their options, risks, and responsibilities. They are looking for someone that can make their problems feel less overwhelming and someone who can help them find a route to manage their exposure to extreme costs or penalties. With the assistance of AI computing power, you can do all of this better and more quickly and more efficiently than ever before," unquote. Professor Delaney emphasized that you and your judgment will always be the value in the legal equation. He concluded with this quote, "On a final note, there were many instances in which I talked to a number of you in the halls about class questions, advice about jobs, or further advanced degrees. We talked about sports, news, fishing, hunting, legal policy, and countless other topics. I got to know many of you, and I am going to miss you. Congratulations, class of 2026. We are proud of you, we are grateful for you, and we cannot wait to see all of you succeed and become great lawyers. Thank you." Can I get a round of applause for Professor Delaney? Thank you, and please keep Professor Delaney and his family in your hearts during this difficult time for them. Next, we will be privileged to hear from this year's commencement speaker, Chief Justice Lynn Boomgarden. Justice Boomgarden was sworn in as a justice of the Wyoming Supreme Court in 2018 and was appointed as a Chief Justice in 2025. Before her appointment to the Supreme Court, Justice Boomgarden served as the director of the Wyoming Office of State Lands and Investment. She worked as an attorney for 2 excellent law firms. She was a faculty member at the University of Wyoming College of Law, and she was a law clerk to Judge Wade Brorby on the United States Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit. She has had an impressive career in the law and one that is not yet over. But perhaps what stands out to me most about Justice Boomgarden is her dedication to leave the legal profession a little better than she found it. I know this firsthand because she was one of the first legal mentors in my life. But it's not just me. Justice Boomgarden seldom passes up the opportunity to mentor our law students. And just this last year, she spoke at the College of Law's new student orientation. She brought the Wyoming Supreme Court to hear oral arguments at the law school, and she offered introductory remarks at the Wyoming Law Review's C.J. Box Symposium. She has hired a member of this year's graduating class to serve as her law clerk next year, and I'm sure that she will provide him with high-quality mentoring. I hope that all of the members of the graduating class have already had at least one opportunity to hear from Justice Boomgarden. But if not, I can think of no better way for them to start their legal career than with some insight from Lynn. Justice Boomgarden?
Well, good morning, everyone. Gotta keep the energy going. I am so honored to join all of you, Trustees Brown and Mathis. Dean Hill, thank you for the kind introduction. Thank you, class of 2026, for selecting me to speak to all of you on this joyful day of celebration. I'm truly honored. So I titled my comments today, "You've Got Soul." And to remind you of that, in about 2 months, when you're all in the abyss of studying for the bar exam, I had some stickers made. And as Ethan Drew's first, I guess, assignment as my incoming clerk in August, he's gonna, he was willing to pass those out for me this morning. Now, class of 2026, please don't make too much of the fact that they were in a a purple Crown Royal bag. I've kept my lovely turquoise necklace in that bag for about 23 years, and when I put it on today, I thought, ooh, the purple will go nicely, and it would work well for those stickers. Make nothing more of the container, please. In commentator and author David Brooks' book, The Second Mountain, he writes, "Every society has a way of transmitting its values to the young. One of the ways we do it is through a secular sermon called the Commencement Address." He goes on to critique the typical advice that accomplished middle-aged commencement speakers give as great big boxes of nothing. I feel the same way, and I'm going to try hard to give you a lot more than that today. He suggests that by encouraging today's graduates to enjoy their freedom, dream big because they're amazing and their future is limitless, simply piles on to the very real uncertainty that most graduates feel. Brooks thinks most graduates want answers to questions like, what is my truth? What is my soul really thirsting for? What is the idea or vocation for which I am willing to live and die? In hindsight, I wish I could have wrestled with these questions much earlier in my legal career. And for that reason, I'm going to ask you to focus this morning on your soul. That piece of you that has moral worth, bears moral responsibility, and in the end is the key to personal and professional fulfillment. My comments today are deeply personal. And they're intended to be a little radical, maybe even a little bit countercultural, as I encourage you to question and push back against professional and cultural norms that emphasize shallow aesthetics and soul-flattening meritocracy. In 2017, 26 years after my law school graduation, and just a couple of days before I hoped to convince Governor Matt Mead to choose me to fill an upcoming Supreme Court vacancy, I read a meditation that recounted the story of French Nobel Prize-winning author André Gide. Gide traveled extensively through Africa in 1926, hiring native guides to accompany him. One morning after a long trek the prior day, Gide was eager to begin bright and early, but the guides refused to leave. When he chided them to get moving, they firmly responded, "Don't hurry us. We're waiting for our souls to catch up." The story really resonated with me as I transitioned from lawyer to judicial candidate to justice. I regretted that I hadn't heard or reflected on it earlier, but I've been grateful for its guidance ever since. You see, in 2017, my marriage was still intact, our daughters were grown and independent, we lived in a lovely home, I represented energy companies who were exploring exciting new technologies in Wyoming, and I made more money than I ever could have imagined when I graduated law school. Why then did I feel like something was missing? What was the source of my sense of persistent insecurity? Like me, most of us, at some point, experience an indescribable void, an emptiness that's characterized by a lack of substance or identity. Like your soul is slipped behind, or its fire and passion are misdirected. Some might call this burnout. I think it's deeper. You know as well as I do how students and professionals often try to fill that deep void. I worked harder and longer, often mistaking exhaustion for importance. Others acquire things and titles. Some confuse wholeness with wellness. They monitor their steps in their sleep, hoping that exercise and rest will fill the big empty. For too many, that emptiness becomes so uncomfortable they turn to drugs, alcohol, and other addictive behaviors for relief. And the fact that that happens in the legal profession is well documented. That's why now, today, is an important time to recognize that your legal education sharpened your mind, but it might also have sidelined your heart, body, and spirit, and that our souls often lag behind when life moves too fast. Now, you're unlikely to hear your soul say, "Hey, wait up." So before life starts moving any faster, or the golden handcuffs get too tight, you might consider slowing down, letting your soul catch up, and answering these fundamental questions. Who am I when I'm not studying, working, or performing? Did I set any parts of me aside to succeed in law school? If so, how do I reclaim them? Do I want to be an exceptional lawyer or a whole person who practices law exceptionally? Is there a difference? Can I separate the kind of person I am or strive to be from the kind of lawyer I'll be? What kind of work feels meaningful, not just impressive? Now, it may be that the most powerful weapon on earth is the human soul on fire, that an intense, passionate, and motivated spirit is the ultimate force for overcoming obstacles and achieving success. But you'll only be able to tap into that force if, standing at the crossroads of law school and the legal profession, you choose a direction that sets your soul on fire. If you have the courage and take the time to examine where your soul is and where you'd like it to be, you'll have taken the first step to guarantee that your work reflects your values. And if your work reflects your values, your soul will catch fire. It took me way too long, but once I let my soul catch up, here's how I rekindled it and how I keep it burning today. I commit to the legal profession as a service profession, and to the rule of law as the load-bearing wall on which the courts, the legal profession, and our communities can stand tall. I create space to think and pray. I embrace silence, nature, and good, honest conversation. And I work hard to be able to rest in uncertainty and not jump to premature conclusions. I will not shy away from commitment, making promises without expecting a return, because commitment reflects a spirit of giving that gives us our identity and purpose. I practice, note I have not mastered, I practice open-mindedness. I relate to two rules that 2nd century Stoic leader Marcus Aurelius proposed. First, act only on what your reasoning mind proposes for the good of humanity. And second, change your opinion if someone shows you you're wrong. But if you change your mind, it has to proceed only from the conviction that it's both correct and it's for the common good, not because it will give you pleasure and make you popular. I've reframed my notion of success and ambition as the alignment of my heart, mind, and soul. And I try to align my daily actions with my ultimate commitment to service and the rule of law. I believe our character is forged by the choices we make that no one sees, not by the cases we win or the titles we acquire. I struggle with this a lot, but I try to avoid comparison. If we have nothing but our job titles to rest on, whether it's Chief Justice or partner or state land director or whatever that is, we'll constantly be comparing ourselves to others. Theodore Roosevelt spoke wisely when he branded comparison as the thief of joy. And lastly, I prioritize relationships. In a profession focused on conflict, my greatest power and yours is our capacity for connection. Life and career is defined much less by our resumes and more by the quality of our relationships. Now, none of those ideas are new. I know that. They're ancient universal wisdoms that just present differently in time and space. Yet each teaches that effort to keep your soul close and burning strong has to be consistent and intentional. And I think that's key. And what I finally learned is that for me to overcome life's many distractions, it has to be a daily practice, almost as important as eating and drinking. As they say, though, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I'm acutely aware that the teachings and ideas that impact me might not resonate with each of you. I've shared these ideas with the intent only to spark thought and encourage exploration. Toward that end, some resources I've found useful include The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, the Bible, The Second Mountain by David Brooks, materials and daily meditations from the Center for Action and Contemplation founded by Father Richard Rohr, Strong Ground by Brene Brown, the works of C.S. Lewis, Tattoos on the Heart by Father Greg Boyle, The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins, and the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, who evocatively sums up the perfection of character as living each day without frenzy, apathy, or pretense. I mentioned at the outset that my comments this morning were a little radical, even countercultural. I say that because in my 35 years in the legal profession, the alignment of work and values and the nurturing of our souls have not been the focus of meaningful or even casual conversation. Please dare to be different. If you do, I guarantee that you and our profession will be better for it. Thank you again for inviting me to spend this time with you. Congratulations, graduates. I hope that you keep each other close and your souls even closer.
Thank you, Justice Boomgarden, for those inspiring words and for joining us today. And now, the most anticipated part of the program, the hooding of our Juris Doctor candidates. As I mentioned earlier, the candidates will be introduced by Senior Associate Dean Alan Romero and will be hooded by Professors Melissa Alexander and Jacqueline Bridgman. If Professor Delaney had been here, he would also have served as a hooder. For students receiving an additional degree, our hooders will be assisted by Professor Temple Stollinger and Dr. Michelle Allgood.
Maggie Acey. Reese Iyer. Adam Baker. Graduating with honors, Connor Ballier. Cormac Bardal. Daisy Bearden. Graduating with honors, Blue Bennett. Graduating with honors, Streeter Boatwright. Brittany Bonaguidi. Anthony Bonfilio. Philip Bourlet. Graduating with honors, Michael Boyce. Graduating with honors, Tyler Bradshaw. Also receiving a master's in environment and natural resources, Molly Brethauer. Graduating with honors, Raina Ann Britt. Graduating with honors, Sierra Burley. Ken Burns. Connor Bass Campbell. Graduating with honors and also receiving a master's in environment and natural resources, Jordan Carlson. Graduating with honors, Megan Carter. Also receiving a master's in public administration, Kaylee Schultz. Graduating with honors, Jessica Contreras Vargas. Graduating with honors, Isabel Cruz. Junith Daniels. Graduating with honors, Ethan Drews. Graduating with honors and also receiving a master's in environment and natural resources, Tori Donovan. Graduating with honors, Gabriel Ewing. Graduating with honors, Tyann Fishback. Also receiving a master's in environment and natural resources, Colton Goldfarb. Graduating with honors, Nayeli Gomez. Graduating with honors, Andrew Goodpaster. Josephine Griesinger. Graduating with honors, Sean Hall. Shifa Hamid. Graduating with honors, Michael Hammer. Graduating with honors, Chance Joseph Harper. Graduating with honors, Luke Haig. Lisa Nicole Hoffman. Graduating with honors, Ryan Jensen. Marshall Johnston. Kayla Jones. Graduating with honors and also receiving a master's in environment and natural resources, Allison Elizabeth Karazowitz. Graduating with honors, Ryan Kilpack. Nicholas Flint Kipp. Michaela Knight. Graduating with honors, Clayton W. Long. Graduating with honors, Madison Looper. Graduating with honors, Carson Lauji. Isabella Manayan Moody. Tanner Martin. Graduating with honors, Kylie Matthews-Worthen. Aiden McCurry. Graduating with honors, Kaylee McNellis. Graduating with honors, Isaac Moline. McKenna Metzger-Coyle. Heidi Mirabal. Abby Peterson. Kyla Pull. Natalie Quillen. Jessica Ralston. Mavjida Rassel. Graduating with honors, Haley Rockwell. Graduating with honors and also receiving a master's in environment and natural resources, Paulina Rose. Francesca Scheitler. Graduating with honors, Sophia Scarella Zelke. Matthew Sharp. Graduating with honors, Jessica Shelby. Graduating with honors, Curtis Silvernell. Graduating with honors, Ryan Slattery. Graduating with honors, Kali Sudani. Also receiving a master's in environment and natural resources, John Sparks. Mason Teague. Graduating with honors, Kennedy Templeton. Graduating with honors and also receiving a master's in environment and natural resources, Olivia Rose Thomas. Banaz Wadi. Graduating with honors and also receiving a master's in environment and natural resources, Emily Wangen. Alexis Weekly. Gregory Weich.
Wasn't that fun? Yeah. But don't worry, we're not quite done yet. I would like to invite Board of Trustee member Kermit Brown to the podium to confer the degrees.
Thank you, Dean Hill. And I'd just like to say a word to the parents and the grandparents sitting out there, and really all the taxpayers. We all pay taxes. But this is your university, and this is what we do. And there are a tremendous number of tax dollars invested in these students, and that's because our state constitution says that we are to provide an education as nearly free as possible. So it used to drive me nuts when I was in the legislature, because you're always working 50 years out. And so I look at this group that just came across the stage and reflect on where we'll be in 50 years. There's probably a governor that came across there, probably a senator, congressman, state legislators, people at every walk of governmental life. There's probably a CEO of a corporation out there. And there are those for whom I have the greatest respect, who don't do this for remuneration or for money. They do it for the love of the job. And they're the public defenders and the criminal lawyers and the people that just make this country work. And they all need this education. Why? It's a simple car wreck, except the cars collided on the state line, and one car ended up on one state and the other car ended up on the other state. Now where are we? Those sorts of problems they deal with every day, and they do it for very little, and they have my greatest admiration. So as you reflect on that and understand, many of us won't be here 50 years from now to understand what we've done, but that's our hope, and I know I have great expectations for them, and I think that they'll do very well. Now, will the candidates for Juris Doctor please rise? Upon the recommendation of the faculty, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of the University of Wyoming, I confer upon you the Juris Doctor degree and course. Congratulations.
You may all move your tassels to the left. Before we conclude our ceremony today, I want to offer just a few thank yous. I would like to thank David Plank for the music today. I would like to thank the College of Law staff who made the ceremony happen. Tim Crawford down here in front took the laboring oar. But he was also assisted by Ryan Harper, Lisa Nunley, Kristen Lanowet, Laurie Kempert, Joseph LeBeau, and Edward Havagamana. We have a truly wonderful staff that regularly go above and beyond the call of duty to make sure that our students reach their goals. I would also like to thank the student volunteers who helped keep us organized today. I know that they'll be looking forward to this next year. And as I look out over the family and friends who have joined us here today, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for lending these students to the study of law for the last 3 years. It has been a pleasure having them here. I want to thank you for being there for them when law school was difficult. I want to thank you for seeing the good in them and for encouraging them. And I want to thank you for reminding them that there is more to life than law school. Finally, I want to thank the members of the class of 2026. As Professor Delaney said, we have enjoyed having you here, and we will miss you. We look forward to following your careers and your successes. Please come back and visit us. And please bring your family and friends to the reception at the College of Law in the lobby immediately following this ceremony. Congratulations, graduates. We stand adjourned. Go Pokes.